My child, I see the way you come back again tonight, not with strength, not with certainty, just with the quiet habit of whispering words into the dark. You kneel beside the bed or sit in the stillness of the room, and the prayer begins almost the same way it did last night and the night before that. The words come slowly now. Sometimes they feel rehearsed. Sometimes they feel empty in your mouth. And there is a moment, one you rarely admit to anyone, when you wonder if the words are simply falling into silence. You wait for something, a sense of peace, a small warmth, some kind of response that lets you know your prayer has reached somewhere beyond the ceiling. But often, nothing comes, just the quiet of the room, the steady rhythm of your breathing, the faint awareness of your own tired heart. And still you pray, even when it feels like you are speaking into a vast stillness, even when your soul feels strangely numb, as if the place where comfort used to live has grown quiet. There was a time when prayer felt different to you. You remember it. There were moments when your chest felt lighter after you spoke to me, moments when hope arrived gently, like morning light through a window. But lately, the light has been harder to recognize. You come to prayer carrying the weight of the day, the heaviness that seems to move through so many hearts now. And sometimes your words sound more like sighs than sentences, yet something inside you still returns, night after night. Not because you feel strong faith, but because some small part of your heart still whispers, maybe tonight. Maybe tonight the silence will soften. Maybe tonight something will change. And so you speak again. Even when the prayer feels fragile, even when the words barely rise above a whisper, there is a quiet ache in this kind of praying. It is the ache of a heart that keeps reaching, even when it no longer feels the warmth it once knew. Many people stop here. When prayer begins to feel empty, they slowly let the habit fade. The room grows quieter, the nights pass, and the conversation disappears. But you have not stopped. That alone tells a deeper story about your heart than you realize. Because faith is often misunderstood. People imagine faith as something strong and bright, certain, full of conviction. But there is another kind of faith, one that lives in quieter places. It shows up when the soul feels tired, when emotions grow dull, when heaven feels silent and still. The prayer continues. Sometimes it is only a few words. Sometimes it is simply sitting in the quiet, unsure what to say anymore. You might think this means something in your spirit has faded. You might worry that your heart has grown distant, or that something inside you has broken. But the truth is far gentler than the fears you carry, because the very act of returning here tonight, of whispering even the smallest prayer, reveals something your tired heart cannot yet see. You are still reaching, even through the silence, even through the numbness, even through the quiet uncertainty that sometimes follows you into the dark. You may not realize it, but I have been watching these moments. Not the moments when your faith felt strong and certain, but the ones like this. The nights when your shoulders feel heavier than usual, when the room feels too quiet, when your prayer begins with a long breath because you are not even sure what words you have left. I see the way you sit there for a moment before speaking. I notice the hesitation, the small pause where your heart quietly wonders, is anyone really listening tonight? You think these prayers go unnoticed because they are not impressive. They are not long. They are not eloquent. Sometimes they are only a few tired sentences. But what you do not see is how precious this kind of faith truly is. Because fragile faith tells the truth. It does not perform. It does not pretend to feel strong. It simply shows up, night after night. And when you whisper even the smallest prayer through your exhaustion, something deeply beautiful is happening in places your eyes cannot yet see. I have seen many hearts grow tired like this. I have watched people kneel beside their beds with eyes that have cried more tears than they speak about during the day. And still, They pray, not because they feel powerful belief, but because somewhere deep within them lives a quiet thread of trust they cannot fully explain. That thread is still alive in you, even tonight, even now. And I want you to understand something your weary heart may have forgotten. Your presence here matters. The simple act of turning your thoughts toward me in the middle of a tired night is never small. If you are here tonight listening to these words, resting in this quiet moment, you are not the only one who has prayed this way. There are many hearts sitting in rooms just like yours, speaking the same fragile prayers into the same silence. And sometimes the small things people do here, liking the message, leaving a gentle comment, or subscribing, simply help this quiet place reach another tired soul who is praying in the same silent way. Some choose to support through something called super thanks, just as a quiet way of helping these messages continue to find the people who need them. There is never pressure in that, just a simple expression of care that flows from the heart. But what matters most right now is you. Because while you may feel unnoticed in these moments, I have not missed a single one. Not the late nights, not the whispered prayers, not the tired silence between your words. I have seen every time your faith barely made it through another night and still found the strength to return. And I know why you return. Not everyone sees it. Most people only see the version of you that moves through the day, answering questions, carrying responsibilities, showing a steady face to the world. They see the surface of your life, but they do not see the weight that follows you into the quiet hours. They do not see the thoughts that begin circling once the noise of the day fades, the questions you keep mostly to yourself, the worries that settle quietly in the background of your heart. Some of these burdens are difficult to explain even if you tried, because they are not always loud problems. Sometimes they are quiet ones, a slow exhaustion that has been building for a long time, a situation that has stretched your patience further than you thought it could go, a relationship that feels fragile, a future that feels uncertain, or simply the steady pressure of trying to hold everything together while your own strength feels thinner than it used to. You carry these things longer than most people realize. You smile when necessary. You keep moving forward, but when night comes, when the room grows quiet, the weight you have been holding all day finally settles on your shoulders, and that is often the moment you begin to pray. Not because you have perfect words, but because your heart needs somewhere to place the heaviness. You bring me things you rarely say out loud, the fears that sound unreasonable when spoken, the disappointments you do not want to burden others with, the tired questions that return again and again. Sometimes your prayer is not even a full sentence. Sometimes it is simply sitting there, breathing slowly, trying to find the courage to speak honestly. I understand those silences. They tell me more about your heart than long speeches ever could, because silence often carries the truth people are afraid to say. I know the exact reason you come back to this moment night after night. I know the memory that still aches quietly, the responsibility that feels heavier than it once did, the hope you are afraid might not happen. You do not need to explain these things to me in perfect language. I already see them, every detail, every hidden corner of your tired heart, and even in the moments when your prayer feels uncertain, when the words feel thin and the room feels still, I can feel the quiet weight you are carrying as you sit there, searching for just enough strength to whisper one more prayer. And sometimes in that quiet moment, a difficult thought begins to form. You may not say it out loud, but it passes gently through your mind. Why does heaven feel so quiet? You wonder if perhaps the silence means something you do not want to face. You wonder if maybe your words are no longer reaching where they once did. Because when the heart grows tired and prayers feel unanswered, the mind begins to create its own explanations. Some people quietly decide that God must be distant. Others begin to believe they have somehow failed, that something inside them is no longer strong enough to reach me. But I want you to pause here with me for a moment. The quiet you feel is not the same thing as absence. Silence can feel heavy when you are longing for reassurance, especially in a world where so many hearts have been carrying an invisible weariness. You have felt it too. The tension moving through people's lives, the quiet strain behind many smiles. It presses gently against the soul, and when that weight meets a quiet heaven, the heart can begin to feel alone. But closeness is not always loud. Some of the most intimate moments between us happen in stillness. Not every presence announces itself with emotion. Sometimes the deepest kind of nearness feels like nothing at all, simply because it is calm. You expect to feel something dramatic when you pray, a clear sense of comfort, a wave of peace, a sudden warmth that assures you everything is being heard. But that is not the only way I meet you. There are nights when my presence rests beside you so quietly that your tired mind cannot recognize it. Not because I am far away, but because your heart has been carrying so much for so long that it has grown numb to gentle things. Even then, I remain near, closer than your thoughts, closer than the quiet room around you. And moments like this, when many hearts listening feel something stir gently inside them, are sometimes the very moments people choose to support this space through something called super thanks. Not as an obligation, simply as a quiet response when something in their heart says this message might help another tired soul somewhere tonight. But right now, stay here with me in this stillness, because the silence you have been sitting in may not be the distance you feared. It may simply be the quiet place where your tired heart is learning to rest again. You may believe that prayer only matters when it feels alive inside you, when the words come easily, when emotion rises, when faith feels warm and steady in your chest. But many of the prayers that reach me most deeply do not look like that at all. They come from hearts that feel exactly like yours does tonight, quiet, worn down, unsure. A prayer spoken through exhaustion carries a kind of honesty that polished words never could, because when you kneel or sit in the stillness with nothing left to prove, when your voice is soft and your heart feels almost empty, the prayer that rises from that place is completely real. There is no performance left in it, no effort to sound faithful, only truth. And truth has always been the language I understand best. You may feel as though your prayer has grown weaker, but what has actually happened is something far more sacred. Your prayer has grown simpler. You are no longer trying to impress heaven. You are simply reaching, sometimes with only a whisper, sometimes with a tired breath, sometimes with words that pause halfway, because your mind drifts under the weight you have been carrying. Even that reaches me, especially that. Many hearts believe their prayers must feel strong in order to matter, but the prayers that carry the deepest trust are often the ones spoken when the heart feels almost nothing at all. Because continuing to pray in those moments means something profound is still alive inside you. It means you have not turned away, even when the comfort you hoped for has not yet arrived. Even when the silence feels long, even when part of you wonders if anyone truly hears the quiet sentences you speak into the dark, you still come. That quiet persistence tells a story about your soul that is far deeper than emotion. It is a form of trust that does not depend on feeling. It is the steady movement of a heart that refuses to let go completely, even when it cannot see clearly. I have watched many people reach this place, where prayer becomes less about saying the perfect words, and more about simply staying in the quiet, staying in the presence, staying in the conversation, even when the voice feels faint. And tonight, as you sit here again, breathing slowly, gathering the strength to speak even one more sentence, Your prayer is already rising. Even before the next word forms, you may think prayer begins when you finally find the sentence you want to say. But often it begins much earlier than that. It begins in the quiet moment when your heart turns toward me again. Even if all you bring is tiredness, even if all you bring is silence, I see that turning. I feel it in the small pause when your breathing slows, when your thoughts gather, when something inside you whispers, "I need to speak to you again." That moment has never been wasted. Not one night you have sat here like this has passed unnoticed. Not the nights when your voice trembled, not the nights when you felt nothing at all, and not the nights when the only prayer you could offer was a long breath and a few quiet words. You have wondered sometimes if your persistence matters, if continuing to pray while feeling empty is somehow a weaker kind of faith. But I want you to understand something very gently. Showing up when your heart feels full is easy. Showing up when your soul feels tired, when your mind feels heavy, when the comfort you hoped for has not yet arrived. That is a different kind of devotion, a quieter one, the kind that grows slowly in the deeper rooms of the heart. I have seen people speak beautiful prayers in moments of joy, but I have also seen hearts sit in the dark with nothing but a whisper and a question. And those moments, the ones that feel small to you, are often the ones that reveal the truest love, because you are not here tonight out of habit alone. Something inside you still reaches, even through the uncertainty, even through the long stretches where nothing seems to change. You keep returning, you keep sitting here, you keep speaking, even when the words feel thin. And I want you to know this with complete certainty. Your prayers have never been lost in silence, not one. Every quiet sentence, every tired whisper, every moment you simply sat with your thoughts and tried to find the courage to speak honestly. I have received them all. You are far more seen than you realize, far more understood than you imagine. The parts of your heart that feel most fragile right now are not things I overlook. They are the very places where I meet you most closely. You do not have to strengthen your voice before coming to me. You do not have to feel peaceful before you pray. You do not have to gather perfect faith before you sit in this quiet place again tomorrow night. You only need to come as you are, tired, searching, still hoping, even if that hope feels small. And if these words reached you tonight, if something inside your heart softened, even slightly, you are welcome to share that here. Some people quietly support these messages through something called super thanks, simply as a way of helping this space remain available for others who are praying through the same kind of quiet nights. If you feel comfortable, you can also leave a comment and share what stirred within you while you were listening. And if this gentle place has become somewhere you return to, you are always welcome to subscribe and remain part of this quiet community. There is also a small membership for those who want to stay even more closely connected to these moments of reflection. But right now, none of those things matter as much as this simple truth. You are not alone in the silence you have been feeling. Not tonight, not in this room, not in the quiet moments when your heart grows tired and your prayer feels fragile. I am here, still listening, as your next quiet breath gathers and your heart prepares to whisper again.